This is Dr. David Shine, and welcome to Business Law 101. So let's take a look at offer and acceptance. Now, again, one of my principles here is as business people, we ought not to be wondering if we've got offer and acceptance. We should be dealing with good paperwork that's been prepared by our company attorneys or our outside counsel. We should be consistent in our utilization of those contracts. People in the field should not be allowed to modify the contracts. Another problem is you can write the world's best contract, but if the people in the field are out there scratching pieces of the contract out without getting proper legal support, you can create errors like that. So it's something to keep in mind. One of my simple examples of this was I, over the years, have written many independent contract agreements for small businesses. And some years ago, a very long-time client of mine came to me and said, hey, I'd like to get you to revise our independent contract agreement. Here's our current one, and implying that I had written it for them. And they sent me their so-called current independent contract agreement, and it was a disaster. It was a total mess. And I said to them, I said, this is not my contract. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You prepared this for us like 10 years ago. I was like, no. I may have written an independent contract agreement for you 10 years ago, but this wasn't the one. Somebody has messed around with this to make it unrecognizable. And it's somebody who was not an attorney, because there's certain ways that attorneys write and construct contracts, and that was not incorporated in the agreement that these folks sent to me. So somebody had fooled around with the document to try and so-called customize it, and oftentimes that's done by small businesses simply to avoid legal fees. They're like, well, we don't want to pay our attorney an extra $200 or $400 or whatever, so we're just going to go ahead and make this change. It's not going to hurt anything and all that. And then when they get into a lack of performance and they're trying to enforce it, they bring it to their attorney, and the attorney says, hey, you crossed out something that's really critical to this agreement. So again, the moral to the story is use good agreements, and then do not let people in the field fool with the agreements. Make sure if there are any modifications that they are done through counsel or at least through senior management. And again, part of that may be that as times change, contracts can get out of date. So if the contract gets out of date, you want to bring it back to your counsel to have them make revisions and update the agreements to the current day. So that, just some things to think about there. And so it says objective theory of contracts, you have to have an agreement, which we talked about right at the beginning of chapter 13. This is Dr. David D. Shine for Business Law 101. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite platform.